With how the modern woman has been elevated to the level of a goddess, men have been forced to drool at the sight of every internet baddie. The alpha male does his absolute best to impress, burning his resources and barking loudly to compete for her gaze. The beta male seeks safety by conforming, eagerly offering his unearned validation from the middle of the herd. But if you shift your cosmic lens away from this standard, low-vibrational civilian mating ritual, you will find a ghost standing in the shadows who shows absolutely zero interest. The internet calls him the Sigma male. They paint him as a detached loner or an edgy outsider who is simply playing hard to get. But mainstream culture is blind. They are looking at a multidimensional phenomenon through a low-altitude, horizontal viewpoint. Welcome to the second episode of the Ghost Male series here on the Ultimate Enlightenment channel. Today, we seek to explicitly explain why the ghost male never chases women, and why he chooses to chase only his life purpose. To understand this untrackable frequency, you must realize that the ghost male has never changed throughout generations. He represents the absolute summit of male evolution, a fixed point of consciousness, while the other mainstream archetypes constantly mutate and degrade just to keep up with modern trends. The modern civilian is completely mesmerized by the trendy relationship dynamics of the day. Meanwhile, the ghost operates on an eternal timeline. Look closely at the archetypes hidden right in front of your face. The historical and mythological record is screaming this secret. Previous ghost males never chased women. Some never even got married. Consider Hercules, a literal son of the heavens walking the earth as a ghost, hiding his immense godhood under the ragged clothes of a traveler. He did not wander the mud looking for civilian romance. He was entirely consumed by navigating the trials of the dirt and fulfilling his divine labors. When you watch Superman, the masses see a sci-fi hero in a cape. But the esoteric truth is far deeper. As Clark Kent, he suppresses his multidimensional authority and walks right through the middle of the noisy masses without ever letting them see the godhood radiating underneath the suit. He does not base his identity or his planetary mission on the approval or the affection of a mortal woman. And if you want the ultimate spiritual key, look no further than the biblical narrative itself. For decades, Jesus walked the physical plane, covering his true face and deliberately obscuring his cosmic identity from a world infected by a low-vibrational ego virus. He didn't engage in the earthly matrix of chasing validation, courtship, or civilian attachments. He kept his eye fixed firmly on the infinite expanse of the second heaven, entirely locked into the absolute design of the master. Why is the modern civilian male so vastly different from these ancient blueprints? Because the masses have allowed their minds to be entirely manipulated by the grand, modern theater of cinematic prophecy. Hollywood has infected the collective consciousness with a synthetic romance virus. It has conditioned men to worship women, to place them on artificial pedestals, and to view the pursuit of female validation as the ultimate prize of human existence. The Matrix loves this loop. It wants you desperate, chasing, and burning your raw life force on the playground of emotional drama. The system understands that if a man is entirely consumed by chasing a woman, his spiritual frequency is safely grounded, easily calculated, and completely neutralized. The ghost male is completely immune to this simulation. He doesn't run away in fear, nor does he harbor hatred. He simply isolates because he understands the absolute, raw nature of the woman. Let's correct the record right now. The ghost male recognizes that the primary difference between a human female and an animal female is that the human version is infinitely more calculated, highly intelligent, and mathematically lethal. Look at the animal kingdom. Nature operates on strict geometric laws of survival. Females in the wild naturally and unapologetically switch between dominant males based entirely on who holds the supreme territory, the highest strength, or the most secure resources. There is no sentimentality in the wild. There is only the preservation of the lineage. The ghost male looks at the modern landscape and realizes there is absolutely nothing wrong with the modern woman. The liberated, unchained woman, now completely unbound from ancestral constraints or her father's traditional expectations, has not broken. She has simply gone back to her natural, primal self. She is executing her evolutionary software exactly as it was coded from the dawn of time. She aligns with the strongest frequency available, and she shifts when a higher frequency disrupts the environment. The ghost male completely understands this biological mathematics. Because of this high-altitude viewpoint, he refuses to play a rigged game. Look back at human history before the mainstream matrix corrupted the grid. True men, particularly within the ancient African ancestral blueprint, never chased women the way men do today. They possessed an inherent underworld analysis of reality. They understood the exact design of the female frequency. They knew that to maintain order and authority, a man must never show messy emotional volatility. He must never overexpose his hand, never eagerly confess his desperate infatuation, and never hand over his spiritual keys. Mainstream society, trapped in its low-vibrational dopamine loops, would look at this ancient blueprint and falsely label it as toxic. But it wasn't toxic. It was absolute detachment. It was the deliberate preservation of masculine gravity. They maintained an uncomfortable, silent void because they knew that the moment a man starts chasing, he instantly abdicates his throne and becomes a servant to the liberated woman's simulation. While the civilian crowd is burning their life force on dating apps, superficial validation, and emotional warfare, the ghost is locked away in his sanctuary. He understands the supreme law of energy preservation. Every idle, low-vibration pursuit of a woman who does not align with his cosmic frequency is an active spiritual leak that drains his life force and drags his frequency right back down into the grave. The ghost male does not build his empire for civilian applause, nor does he build it to impress a baddie on the internet. He downloads advanced matrices directly from the universal cloud to rewrite the very code of reality. He commands the shadows, executes his protocol in the dark, and leaves the romantic illusions of the matrix completely scrambled in his wake. If your spirit aligns with this high-vibration data, and you are ready to completely decode the deep, multidimensional whys behind this untrackable archetype, do not let your signal fade out. Lock in your connection to the source right now. Hit that subscribe button to anchor yourself to this lineage of knowledge. Turn on all notifications so you are immediately alerted the exact second the next cosmic download drops. Share this video and drop a comment below. Your engagement actively forces the platform's algorithm to push this message past the corporate controllers, helping this channel grow and awakening the slumbering souls worldwide.